Hello students, so today I will be taking the topic monohybrid cross from the chapter Principles of Inheritance and Variation, class 12th. And today what we will be discussing about the monohybrid cross and the different phenotypic and genotypic ratios which are obtained in the different filial generations like the F1 and F2 generation. At the same time, we will also be discussing about the first and the second law of inheritance, that is the law of dominance and the law of segregations, which are derived on the basis of monohybrid cross performed by Mendel in his hybridization experiments. So what is monohybrid cross? Monohybrid cross, it is a cross which is performed to study the inheritance of one character at a time. This cross, it was performed by Mendel, and there are few steps in every cross which I told you in my previous videos as well, that for performing any cross as suggested by the Mendel, there are three steps. And the first step is the selection of pure parents. Second step is hybridization between the pure parents with the contrasting characters. And the third one is the selfing of F1 hybrids which are obtained from the hybridization between the pure parents. So these are the three steps of performing any cross as suggested by the Mendel. Mendel always started his hybridization experiments with the selection of pure parents. When I say pure parents, what do I mean? I mean that the pure parents, they are, first of all, they are obtained by continuous selfing, and secondly, pure parents, they are always homozygous for a particular trait. Fine. Yeah. So first step is selection of pure parents, and Mendel, he selected pure tall and pure dwarf plants for the experiments, hybridization experiments on the pea plant. Then after selecting these pure parents with the contrasting traits, then the hybridization between the pure parents, he carried out the hybridization between the pure parents. And so here we can see that a parent with homozygous tall parent, it is crossed with a homozygous recessive dwarf parent. Fine. So when the both the parents, they are crossed, then first the formation of gametes, it will take place. And here from the homozygous tall parent, the gametes formed will be the capital T and the capital T, and this homozygous recessive dwarf parent, the gametes formed will be, one will be the small t and the other will also be the small t, as the parent is homozygous. And we all know that the parent, the trait which is recessive, it has both the, it needs to have the both the alleles which are similar. Fine. So this was about the formation of gametes. Now in the F1 generation, the progenies which are obtained from this cross, all of them, all the four progenies, we can see over here when the cross is performed uh, between these parents, between these gametes, we will get the offsprings, all the same offsprings with the genotype capital T and the small t. That is, all the offsprings, they will be the heterozygous tall. Fine. And so we can say that in the F1 generation, the phenotypic ratio is 4:0, and the genotypic 4:0. What do I mean by 4:0? 4:0 means that the plants in the F1 generation, out of these four offsprings, the four will be, all the four, they will be the tall, and there will not be any dwarf plant obtained. So it is 4:0. Genotypic ratio will also be 4:0, as all the offsprings, they have the same genotype, that is, they are heterozygous tall. So this is about the phenotypic and genotypic ratios of the F1 generation. Now after this, the next step is the selfing of F1 hybrids. So we can take the members of the same generations, and then they are, the selfing is performed, if the cross is performed between them. So these are the two offsprings with the similar genotype, that is capital T and the small t. Now again the formation of gametes will take place, and in both the cases the similar gametes will be formed, as the parents, they have the same genotype. So gametes formed will be capital T and the small t, as this is a heterozygous parent, so dissimilar gametes will be formed. After this, when they are crossed together, the offsprings which are obtained in F2 generation, these four offsprings, Out of them, the three are going to be a tall. We can see it is capital T, so this will be tall. Capital T, small t, this will also be tall, heterozygous tall. And capital T and small t, this will also be heterozygous tall. And small t, it will be recessive dwarf, as this is a recessive trait, so this will be dwarf. So we can see in total we are getting 3 tall plants, so and 1 dwarf plant. So phenotypic ratio will be 3:1, and genotypic ratio will be 1 is pure tall, so 1, then 2 are heterozygous tall, so 2, and the 1 is dwarf, pure dwarf, so it will be 1 again. So genotypic ratio, it will be 1:2:1 for the F2 generation of a monohybrid cross. So you need to remember the phenotypic and the genotypic ratios of the F1 generation and the phenotypic ratio and the genotypic ratios of the F2 generations in a monohybrid cross. So this was all about the monohybrid cross. Yeah, on this slide I have taken this figure from the 12th NCERT. It is the similar description of which I had told you in my previous slide, that monohybrid cross, it is performed between the two plants with the contrasting traits. One is the tall, dominant tall, and the another one is the recessive dwarf. So they are pure for that trait. Then the formation of gametes takes place, cross between these two takes place, and F1 generation is performed. All the plants which are obtained are heterozygous tall. Then the selfing is performed between the F1 hybrids, and the gamete formation takes place over here. And all the progenies which are obtained in F2 generation, the phenotypic ratio for that will be 3:1, and the genotypic ratio will be 1:2:1. So this was all about the monohybrid cross. Now, on the basis of this monohybrid cross, the first and the second law of inheritance, it can be derived. The first law of inheritance, it is also known as the law of dominance, and it is based on monohybrid cross. The first law of inheritance, or the law of dominance, it states that the characters, they are controlled by the discrete units, and they are called as the factors. The term factor, it was given by Mendel. So characters, they are controlled by factors, and factors, they always occur in pairs, because one factor, it comes from the male parent, and the second factor, it comes from the female parent. On crossing pure contrasting characters in the F1 generation, we can say that on crossing the pure parents with the contrasting characters in the F1 generation, only one character, it is able to express itself, and this character is known as the dominant character, and the character which is suppressed is known as the recessive character. So this is the law of dominance, or we can also say that in the F1 generation, out of the two alleles of a gene, only one of the allele is able to express itself, whereas the another allele, it is suppressed due to the presence of the dominant allele, and this law is known as the law of dominance. And this thing, that the characters, they are controlled by the units called as the factors, and the factors, they always occur in pairs. This law is also known as the law of unit factor. Fine. Now the applications of the law of dominance, that is what it explains basically. So law of dominance, it explains the expression of only one parental character in the F1 generation. It also explains the expression of both the characters in the F2 generation. We can see that in the F2 generation, only one character, in the F2 generation, both the characters, they are recovered as such. It is because that one of the genotype, it contains both the alleles which are recessive. So the recessive trait, it is expressed because both the recessive alleles, they are present in that parent. So therefore the character which is expressed is recessive. Now it also explains the proportion of 3:1, that is obtained at the F2 generation. So in the F2 generation, the phenotypic ratio which is obtained is 3:1. This ratio is obtained 3 tall and 1 dwarf. It is obtained because in the dwarf plant, the dominant allele is absent. So it also explains this. And now we have few exceptions to this law of dominance, and those exceptions, they are incomplete dominance and the codominance. Fine. This I will be taking in detail in my upcoming videos. Now, the Mendel's second law of inheritance, or the law of segregation, it is also based upon the monohybrid cross performed by Mendel. This law states that during the formation of gametes, what happens, that the segregation of the two alleles takes place. These two alleles, they code for the same trait. So during the formation of the gametes, the segregation of alleles coding for the same trait, it takes place, and these two alleles, they enter the separate gametes. So this is the law of segregation. Now we have few conditions, that if the parent is homozygous tall and the genotype is, in this situation it is capital T, both the alleles, they are similar. So when both the alleles, they are similar, the two gametes, they will receive the two similar alleles. That is, the one allele capital T, it will enter the one gamete, and the another allele capital T, it will enter the another gamete. So both the gametes will receive the same alleles, similar alleles. Fine. Now, if the parent is heterozygous tall, that is the genotype is capital T and small t, then in that situation, when the gamete formation takes place, then the two alleles of this gene, they enter the separate gametes. One gamete, it will receive the allele capital T, and the another gamete will receive the allele small t. So both the gametes, they will have the dissimilar alleles. We can see over here, though the parent is heterozygous, but this gamete is always pure for a particular trait. That is, it receives only single allele, and this gamete, it contains the allele for the tallness, and this gamete, it contains the allele for the dwarfness. So we can say this as the law of purity of gametes, because the gamete is always pure for a character, it is always pure for a particular trait. Therefore, the second law of inheritance, that is the law of segregation, it is also known as the law of purity of gametes. Fine. We have one more condition, which is, in that situation the parent is dwarf and the genotype is small t and small t, and in this case the two alleles formed will be, the two alleles are small t and small t, they will enter the separate gamete, and the gametes here also will receive the same allele, right? There are some facts about the law of segregation, and they are that alleles, they do not show any blending, and both the characters are recovered as such in the F2 generation. That is, both the tall and the dwarf character trait, they are expressed as such in the F2 generation in the ratio 3:1, 3 tall and 1 dwarf. It does not show any blending, means there is no intermediate height we obtained in this cross, right? And I had told you this one, that homozygous parent produces similar gametes, whereas the heterozygous parents, they produces the dissimilar gametes, right? Now, this also I had told you, law of purity of gametes. Now, what is the biological basis of the law of segregation? The biological, why it happens? It happens due to the separation of this homologous pair of chromosomes during the anaphase 1 of the meiosis 1. It is a universal law. There is no exception to this law. Conclusion. What is the conclusion we drew from this video? It is that in a monohybrid cross performed by Mendel in his hybridization experiments on the pea plant, for the F1 generation, the phenotypic ratio is 4:0, that is 4 tall and no dwarf. Genotypic ratio is 4:0, that all the tall plants, they are heterozygous tall. For the F2 generation, the phenotypic ratio is 3:1, that is 3 tall and 1 dwarf. And for F2 generation only, the genotypic ratio is 1:2:1, 1 pure tall, 2 heterozygous tall, and 1 pure dwarf. Right? Yeah, so this was all about the monohybrid cross and the first and the second law of inheritance. And in case if you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section. In my upcoming video, I will be discussing about the dihybrid cross and the third law of inheritance derived on the basis of dihybrid cross. Thank you.